Imagine waking up tomorrow, no Wi-Fi, no mobile data, no internet at all, anywhere on this whole earth. What breaks first? And surprisingly, what still keeps working? Let's find out. Hello everyone, my name is Hasnan Tariq and welcome back to the South Era Network. We as human beings use internet consistently and constantly so much that we have forgotten how its infrastructure works. It's always there, but it feels invisible to us, like air or electricity. The internet is not a centralized single system. There's really no off button, a single switch, or even a control room. The internet is a massive decentralized web of fiber optic cables, servers, routers, data centers, satellites, all owned by different organizations, companies, or countries. So for the internet to go down everywhere, something horribly wrong has to happen. This isn't about a slow internet connection. This is about a world with no digital backbone at all. Now, I'd say it's a 1 in a billion chance. It's pretty rare. Let's hope it never happens, but let's assume it does. The moment internet disappears from this world, the first thing that people will notice isn't chaos. It will be total silence. Phones still turned on, screens all lit up, but nothing is really updating. Messages don't send, emails all locked up, and your apps are constantly frozen. The first thing that you will think is, maybe it's my Wi-Fi, maybe it's my router. So naturally, you switch to mobile data, but that's also not working. You go out your room, you talk to your parents, brothers, sisters, friends. None of them have any active connection. Just after a few minutes, people realize it's not them. It's everyone. And that is when things start to unroll. The first systems to fail would be the ones that completely rely on real-time connectivity. These will be the systems that run quietly in the background. Messaging apps, social platforms, cloud-based tools, streaming services, navigation, all of it gone. Your phone becomes a really advanced piece of technology, but completely offline, or may I say, useless. But here's the interesting part. Not everything starts to break immediately. Local systems will still work. Your phone can still take photos, offline applications are still accessible, local networks inside offices, schools, or even homes will still function properly. In fact, many businesses will not immediately shut down. Now, how is that possible? Well, because critical systems are designed not to rely on public internet. For example, hospitals don't store or access patient data through YouTube servers. Airplanes don't depend on your home Wi-Fi. And most importantly, power plants don't completely rely on cloud dashboards. They all use isolated networks, local controls, and offline fail-safe servers. Now let's zoom out. Within minutes, global financial systems will face the biggest hit. Not because the money disappears, but simply because all kinds of verifications stop. So technically, your money would still exist, but accessing it would become a serious challenge. Credit card payments needs online authorizations, your bank apps cannot sync anymore, and your digital wallets will completely stop updating. Of course, cash will still work though, but how many people do you know keep a lot of cash on hands for an emergency like this? At least I don't, because I don't have that much cash. The second system that gets hit the most would be global logistics. This is when the physical world would start to slow down. Shipping systems cannot update routes, inventory items will not sync, and your tracking numbers will be useless. But still, nothing will explode. Nothing collapses instantly, but everything will become super slow. This is when people will realize something super important. The internet didn't just make things easier, but it also made them coordinated. Now here's the part that's very non-dramatic and most people don't expect. A total global outage wouldn't last very long because the internet was designed to survive disasters. The core idea of internet is packet switching. Data does not take a fixed path, but in fact, it follows any path that it can find. If a cable is cut, the traffic will reroute. If a server fails, another one will take over. Or if a whole region fails, the data will just flow around it but still arrive its destination. This is why major outages today are mostly just regional, not global. This basically means that even in the case of an extreme natural disaster, traffic will always find a new route. Think of the internet like your hometown or your city. it has hundreds of roads or thousands of routes. You block one road, and of course there's going to be traffic. You block a couple hundred roads, and there's going to be some delays. But it's practically impossible to close the whole city or block every single route. The internet has so many ways to travel, through signals, through satellites, through cables. It's just very impossible for it to completely stop traveling at all. And so, even though a total breakdown of the internet is very rare and somewhat impossible, but even if it happens, it will mostly last only a couple minutes or even seconds before the internet starts rerouting and working all over again. Now, I know you didn't click on this video for the technicalities, you need some drama. So for the curious people out there, let's imagine that this outage lasts hours or days or even months. That is when you see the real impact, but that isn't technical, it's human. Let me explain. People rely on the internet for a lot of things: communication, coordination, verification, and even confidence. Modern infrastructure is built on real-time data. Without it, everything reverts back to manual mode. Without internet, uncertainty grows, and it keeps growing exponentially. And that's mainly not because the technology failed, but because our expectations did. See, we've built our life around the expectation that all information is constant and instant. Take all that information away and we'll be practically blind. The world will slow down in front of us and we'll feel so helpless. The internet isn't just a tool anymore, it's a layer on top of reality itself. To be honest, it's really hard to imagine what the world would really look like without the internet. We're just so used to the idea of this facility that we don't notice the internet anymore. We only notice it when it's gone. And that is my key message here. The internet isn't fragile. In fact, it is one of the most resilient systems humans have ever built. What's fragile is our comfort with constant connectivity. And so, if you wake up tomorrow and the internet is gone everywhere, the real story wouldn't be collapse. It will be realization. Realizing how much modern life depends not on the existing technology, but rather it being always there, always accessible, always instant, and always invisible. The internet was not something that was always present, and so if we as humans came this far without it, I'm pretty sure we should be able to survive even if we take a few steps backwards. And with that realization and some food for thought, I will end today's video right here. If you like the content, make sure to press that subscribe button and also press that bell icon, because we'll be bringing lots and lots of technology videos just for you. Hopefully the internet will still be active tomorrow, and I will see you in the next video.